So it's cold outside, and I've got this trainer down in my basement. So usually when it gets this cold, it's in the 20s, low 20s, I will come down to the basement and ride on this trainer. But I want to change out these pedals here so that I can have my snap-on clips that I have on my cleats on my bike, and put the right pedals here. In order to do that, I need a wrench like this. I have to engage this, and I've been trying to do it, and it won't come off unless I apply some hammer to this as well, and I think I can get it off then. So what I'm going to do instead of using this, because I know how much torque this thing will generate, I can probably get about 45 foot-pounds of torque on this thing. I'm going to use this. So this is my EDC kit, my little kit. You guys have probably seen this before if you follow this channel. And I'm going to take this little Knipex XS, and just to give you some idea of the difference in size, I'm going to use this to take it off. So the most torque I've got out of this thing in the past is probably about 15 foot-pounds, because my hand starts to give out. This is not a lot of area here to clamp down on. As you can see, my hands are pretty big, and it's gonna hurt. So I've got some modifications here that I think might be interesting, that you might use in this kind of a situation where you don't have other tools. You just have this little thing in your pocket, and that's what we're going to get into today. This is kind of interesting, so I hope you'll stick around. See you in a bit. All right, just for comparison, here's the crescent wrench that I was going to be using, and instead we're going to be using the Knipex XS Cobra. And let's give it a try first without any assistance on it. I'll just show you. I hate doing this, but here it goes. So I've already pre-adjusted this. So you can see it's about 4 notches down from completely closed at this point. And I'm gonna hook this up here like this. And lock it in there. And here it goes. Ow. Okay. Oh, here we go. That's a pretty good indentation. Yeah, it wasn't going to give. So that's, yeah, that hurt. All right, so what we're going to do now is, instead of we're going to have to persuade it with something like a stone or a hammer. In this case, we're going to use a hammer, but if you were in an extreme case, you'd probably be using a stone or something. And if this is the only tool that you had to work with. So what we're going to do next here is I'm going to take some of this tape, and this tape is kind of the key to making this happen. I'm going to kind of replace my hand squeezing down on the handles of the Knipex with this tape instead, so that I can bash it with a hammer, frankly. So we're going to use this. It's called self-amalgamating repair tape, and there'll be a link in the description if you want to take a look at that. But here's what it looks like on a roll. And there is no adhesive on this. It's kind of an interesting tape. What it does, get out about 8 inches of it. What it does is it adheres to itself. So I'm going to cut off a piece here. And it has a protective tape on the outside of it that keeps it from sticking to itself all the time. So we'll see if we can scrape that off here. Of course, this is going to take forever. So, oh, come on, Phil. Alrighty, there we go. We'll take this tape off, and it exposes just the amalgamated tape underneath it. So it's very rubbery. It expands kind of like a rubber band, and it sticks to itself. So what's going to happen here is, when I clamp this on, I'm basically going to be replacing my hand, clamping down on this with the tape. So we'll get the tape started. Now I'm pulling it out, you can see that. Wrapping it around. As I come around, it's going to stick to itself, which is interesting. And then I'm going to do it again and again and again. And each time I go around, it's going to amplify the amount of torque that the handle is getting. Let's see here, we can get this going here. I need to get started. Okay, here we go. And again. And again. And each time, again, it just keeps on tightening and tightening and tightening as I'm going down on this. And one more. I'm gonna get a couple more out of here, frankly. So it's replacing my hand squeezing on the handles with this tape, which is probably squeezing it harder than I was before, frankly. And a few more reps, almost done. Coming around to the last one. And there you go. So you can see as I stick it on here like that, it's now clamped on. All right, so that's in place. Actually, just for one, it's actually increased the, let's see if I can do this. Oh, now. Okay. Okay, now we've got it in place. And I'm gonna do some taps here. Look at that. Yes. And that's it. And I can just do this. Wrap it around. And again. Again. And so we got it all the way off. Nice. And it's still clamped on there pretty well. Yeah, it's definitely on there. Let's see if I can pull this off a little bit. And that's it. It works really nicely. So we got it off, which is what I was trying to do. Take off the other one, and I'm done with this. But this is really, you know, we've sort of exceeding the parameters of how this tool was designed, doing stuff like this, but it holds up really well. And you can see that the teeth here are still in pretty good shape. They haven't really stripped or done anything funky. Everything is still aligned as it was originally. I just need to get this tape off it, but you can see this tape is really on here really well. So there was, that's it. Handle is still in one piece. Everything is working. Nothing is, you know, bent out of shape. Everything seems to be aligned properly. Yeah, it took quite a bit of abuse there, but yeah, it works. So this was capable of doing what the Crescent could have done, but it's a lot smaller, and granted, you probably have the Crescent be able to do it, but you know, I'm just trying to figure out what the capabilities are of this thing, how far I can push it. So yeah, it's definitely a neat tool to have in your EDC kit. So I want to be clear here, is what you saw there was a pretty extreme example of using how to use this thing. And we did get the pedal off, and I'll replace these with the new pedals I'm going to take off my bike. But the other thing you can do with this, if you don't have the tape available to you, you might have some paracord or something. About 8 feet of paracord will do almost the same thing. So you string it through the back here, this little slot right there. String through the back like this, just to get it started. Loop it around once, come back through and just tie it off like this. So you have a little loop. Then just start wrapping it around the handle, and wrap it around and wrap it around and wrap it around. Each time you're putting tension on it as well. And this is putting tension on the head each time you loop it around. You can do probably 2 to 3 layers. And the nice thing about this too is that it makes the handle much, much larger. So you can actually probably then use your hand to torque this thing down if you want to, or you can again whack it on the back with a hammer if you want to, or a stone, to make it come down again. The teeth on these things are amazing. They hold very, very well. So engineering on this is really nice, and it'll probably get it off, but don't underestimate this thing. Don't treat it like, you know, it's a delicate tool. It's a rugged tool that'll do a lot for you. It has a very small, compact size. It's deceptive, but it's, yeah, you can do a lot with this thing. Anyway, thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have a chance, please hit the subscribe button or the like button. That would be great. And I really appreciate your support. Take care. Bye.